I stood in my son's driveway at 2 a.m., watching flames consume everything he'd built. The house, the cars, all of it burning while he screamed my name from behind the police car window. Mom, please, tell them you know I didn't mean it. But I just stood there, my hands steady in my pockets, feeling something I never thought I'd feel watching my only son's life crumble. Satisfaction. You probably think I'm a monster. Maybe I am, but before you judge me, let me tell you how I got here. Let me tell you about the day I discovered my retirement account was empty and the twisted path that led me to destroy the person I loved most in this world. 6 months earlier, I was sitting in my favorite coffee shop, the one where Martin and I used to meet every Tuesday before he passed. I'd kept up the tradition for 3 years since cancer took him. Same table, same black coffee, same blueberry muffin he always ordered but never finished. That morning, I was planning our dream trip. Well, my trip now, but I still called it ours. Martin always wanted to see the Northern Lights. We'd saved for 35 years, every penny we could spare going into that account. $400,000. Not a fortune, but enough for me to take his ashes to Norway, scatter them under those dancing lights, then live out my remaining years without being a burden to anyone. I logged into my banking app to check the balance, already imagining his laugh when I'd tell his ghost about the price of Norwegian coffee. The screen loaded. Balance, $2,847.23. My heart stopped. Actually stopped. I felt it skip, stutter, then hammer so hard I thought everyone in the coffee shop could hear it. This had to be wrong, a glitch. I refreshed. Same number. I called the bank. Mrs. Patterson, according to our records, you authorized a series of transfers over the past 8 months to an account belonging to, Michael Patterson, your son? Michael, my golden boy, the one who'd held my hand at Martin's funeral and promised he'd take care of me, the one who visited every Sunday, who helped me set up online banking because it's safer than carrying cash, Mom. Ma'am, are you still there? I hung up. Michael lived 40 minutes away, in a house that suddenly made sense. Too big, too expensive for a marketing manager's salary. When he opened the door, his face went white before he even saw my expression. He knew. Mom, I can explain. $400,000, Michael. His wife, Jennifer, appeared behind him, designer purse on her shoulder, car keys jingling. She took one look at us and her perfectly made-up face crumbled. Honey, she whispered to Michael, is this about... Go inside, Jen. But she didn't move. Instead, she straightened her shoulders and looked me dead in the eye. It was for the business, Mrs. Patterson. The investment opportunity. Michael said you'd understand once we made the profit back. Investment opportunity. My son had stolen my life savings for an investment opportunity. What business? My voice came out steadier than I felt. Michael's hands shook as he explained. Cryptocurrency. Can you believe it? My son, who I taught to save every penny, who watched his father clip coupons for 30 years, gambled our retirement on digital coins. It was supposed to triple, Mom. This guy, Marcus Webb, he guaranteed. Guaranteed? I laughed, but it came out like breaking glass. You gave away your father's dream for a guarantee from someone named Marcus Webb? That's when Jennifer said something that changed everything. Show her the messages, Michael. Show her how Marcus knew exactly what buttons to push. Show her the photos. Michael's hand shook in his hands as he scrolled through months of messages. Marcus Webb wasn't just some random crypto guru. He was someone who knew everything about our family. Details about Martin's illness, about the retirement fund, about my weekly coffee shop visits. Look at this one, Mom. He sent photos of you at the coffee shop. Said he'd been watching you, that you were depressed, that I needed to act fast before you did something stupid with the money. The messages got darker. Threats disguised as concerns. Your mom's not well. Saw her talking to herself again today. Maybe someone should check on her mental capacity. Would hate for the state to get involved. Marcus had played my son like a violin, using fear and love as his bow. But something felt off. The photos were too precise. The angles too familiar. Michael, I said slowly, who else knew about Dad's Norway dream? He frowned. Just family. You, me, Jen. He paused. And Aunt Patricia, remember, she helped us research the trip that Christmas before Dad got sick. Aunt Patricia, my sister, the one who'd been struggling with gambling debts, the one I'd refused to lend money to last year.
I hired a private investigator with my last credit card, told Michael I forgave him, that we'd figure it out together. Let him believe I was the understanding mother while I dug into Marcus Webb. 2 weeks later, the investigator called. Mrs. Patterson, Marcus Webb doesn't exist, but the IP addresses from those messages, they trace back to a Patricia Hendricks. My own sister had destroyed my son to get to my money. But here's where it gets worse. The investigator kept digging. There's more, ma'am. Your daughter-in-law, Jennifer, she's been in contact with Patricia Hendricks for over a year. Phone records showed daily calls. I felt the floor drop out from under me. What are you saying? He's saying your son might be the only innocent person in this whole mess. I confronted Jennifer alone, catching her at her yoga studio. The moment she saw me, she tried to run, actually ran. I caught her in the parking lot. How long? I asked. She broke down completely, mascara streaming. Patricia came to me first, said she knew about Michael's anxiety medication, his therapy after Martin died, said she could make it look like Michael was unstable, get him institutionalized, and I'd get everything as his wife. But I couldn't do that to him. I loved him. So Patricia came up with Plan B. Plan B was the crypto scam. Jennifer would slowly convince Michael it was a good idea, while Patricia, as Marcus, applied pressure from the other side. She'd get a cut of the money, Patricia would get the rest, and Michael would take the fall. But I swear, Mrs. Patterson, I tried to stop it. When I saw how much it was hurting him, I tried to back out. Patricia said she'd kill us both if I did. She said she'd make it look like a murder-suicide. She's sick. She's so sick. I recorded everything on my phone. I didn't go to the police. Not yet. I wanted Patricia to suffer the way she'd made my son suffer, the way she had made me suffer. I wanted her to lose everything. I played broken, visited Patricia, cried on her shoulder about my lost retirement. She actually comforted me. This snake who'd orchestrated everything said she'd help me through it, even offered to lend me money, my own money, probably. I'm thinking about selling the house, I told her one day, moving in with Michael. He feels so guilty, and Jennifer says they have space. Patricia's eye twitched. Jennifer's a good girl. She'll take care of you. Yeah, I said softly. She mentioned you two have gotten close, says she gives great investment advice. She went pale. She said that? I nodded, playing confused. Should she not have? Patricia, what's going on? That's when she made her mistake. She panicked, started calling Jennifer frantically, leaving voicemails.
"You stupid witch! What did you tell her? We had a deal!" I had her. But when I went to play the recordings for Michael to show him everything, I found him in his garage with a rope. My son, my beautiful, broken boy, was standing on a chair with a noose around his neck. "I can't live with what I did to you, Mom. I see Dad in my dreams and he won't look at me." I talked him down, held him while he sobbed, and in that moment, my revenge plan changed. It wasn't enough to expose Patricia. I wanted her destroyed. "Michael, what if I told you none of this was your fault? What if I told you Aunt Patricia and Jennifer played you?" The look in his eyes, hope, rage, devastation, it broke what was left of my heart. "Jennifer?" He pulled away from me. No, she couldn't. She loves me." I showed him everything. The phone records, the recordings. His whole world shattered in real time. But instead of breaking down, something else happened. Something dark woke up in my gentle son's eyes. "Mom," he said quietly, "I want to hurt them. I want to hurt them the way they hurt us." That should have scared me. It didn't. We planned it together, mother and son, united by betrayal. Michael pretended to stay oblivious, while I pretended to be losing my mind from the stress. Patricia started coming around more, probably trying to figure out what I knew. Jennifer kept playing the devoted wife while secretly meeting Patricia to plan their next move. The private investigator found more dirt. Patricia didn't just have gambling debts. She owed money to serious people, the kind that break bones over missed payments. She'd been desperate, but desperation doesn't excuse destroying your own family. We set the trap on a Thursday. Michael told Jennifer he was going on a business trip. I told Patricia I needed her help moving some of Martin's things from storage, said I was finally letting go. The storage unit was in an abandoned complex on the outskirts of town. Patricia showed up right on time, probably hoping there were valuable things she could steal. Jennifer arrived 15 minutes later, just as we had predicted when Michael told her about the valuable jewelry I'd supposedly hidden there. They were both inside the unit, arguing about why the other was there, when we appeared in the doorway. "Hello, Aunt Patricia," Michael said. "Jen?" The look on their faces all carry to my grave.
But here's the twist that changes everything. As Patricia started babbling excuses and Jennifer cried about being forced into it, Michael pulled out his phone and started playing a recording I'd never heard before. It was Martin. My Martin. From 3 days before he died. Michael, son, if you're listening to this, it means they finally showed their true colors. I knew about Patricia's gambling. I knew about Jennifer's affairs, yes, plural. I knew they'd come for the money after I was gone. I wanted to tell your mother, but she loves too hard, trusts too deeply. She'd never believe her sister could betray her. So I'm trusting you to protect her. The retirement money? I moved most of it 3 months ago. It's in a trust that only activates upon evidence of theft or fraud. The $400,000 they stole? That was bait money. The real retirement fund, $1.8 million from my family's estate, is safe. I couldn't breathe. Michael held me up as Martin's voice continued. Patricia, if you're hearing this, you were never family. You were just blood. And Jennifer, that prenuptial agreement you signed? Check Clause 47B about infidelity and conspiracy to commit fraud. You get nothing. The recording ended. The storage unit was silent except for Jennifer's hyperventilating. He knew? I whispered. Martin knew everything? Michael nodded. He made me promise to let it play out, to let them hang themselves. He said you'd never heal if you didn't see it for yourself. Mom, there's more. He handed me an envelope, Martin's handwriting. My dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, then our son did his job. I'm sorry for the pain, but you needed to see that Michael would protect you when I couldn't. You needed to know that our boy, despite his mistakes, has his mother's heart. Patricia and Jennifer will face justice. I made sure the investigator you hired was actually an FBI agent investigating Patricia's connections to money laundering. They've been building a case this whole time. By the time you read this, it's over. Now, my love, take our ashes to Norway. Take our son. See the northern lights for me. And know that I loved you enough to protect you even from beyond. Forever yours, Martin. The FBI arrested Patricia and Jennifer that night. The money laundering charges alone would put Patricia away for 20 years. Jennifer lost everything in the divorce. The prenup Martin mentioned was ironclad. But that brings us back to the beginning. The fire. The screaming. See, Patricia made bail somehow, showed up at Michael's house with a gas can, ranting about how we'd destroyed her. Michael and I were at the coffee shop planning our Norway trip when the neighbor called. By the time we arrived, Patricia had set the whole place ablaze and was trying to run. The police caught her 2 blocks away. So there I stood, watching my son's house burn, listening to Patricia scream from the police car. But Michael wasn't upset. He stood next to me, holding the urn with Martin's ashes we'd grabbed from my car. You know what, Mom? He said. It's just stuff. Dad taught us that, didn't he? It's just stuff. The insurance would cover the house. The trust Martin set up would cover everything else. But standing there with my son, knowing Martin had orchestrated all of this to show me that Michael would always protect me, that was worth more than any amount of money. We scattered Martin's ashes in Norway 3 months later. The northern lights danced above us, like he was painting the sky. Michael cried. I cried. But they were good tears. Clean tears. Patricia's in federal prison now, 25 to life after the arson charges. Jennifer moved back with her parents in Ohio, last I heard. Michael's in therapy, working through the betrayal. He says he's learning to trust again. I tell him to take his time. But late at night, when I can't sleep, I think about Martin's last gift to us. He didn't just protect our money. He revealed everyone's true character. He showed me that my son, despite his flaws, would choose his family over everything. He showed me that blood doesn't make family. Love does. Some people might say what we did to Patricia and Jennifer was cruel, that we should have just gone to the police from the start. But Martin knew us better than that. He knew we needed to be the ones to catch them. We needed to take back our power. The retirement money? We donated half to the cancer ward where Martin spent his last days. The other half is setting up a foundation for families destroyed by financial fraud. Michael runs it now. He says it's his penance, but I see it differently. I see it as Martin's final lesson. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying those who hurt you, it's using that pain to help others. But I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes, late at night, I dream about that fire, about Patricia screaming, and in those dreams, I'm not standing there watching. I'm the one holding the match. Martin would forgive me for those dreams. After all, he knew exactly who he married. He knew that beneath this gentle grandmother exterior beats the heart of someone who would burn down the world to protect her family. And now my son knows it too. So I ask you, what would you have done if you discovered your own family had betrayed you for money? Would you have gone straight to the police? Or would you have wanted them to suffer first? Be honest in the comments below. Tell me, when family becomes the enemy, does blood still matter? Or does betrayal wash all that away? And here's the real question that keeps me up at night. Do you think Martin was protecting us, or was he testing us? Was this all about the money, or was he trying to show me something about my son that I needed to see? Let me know what you think, because 3 years later, I'm still not sure if my husband was a guardian angel or a chess master playing a game from beyond the grave. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear that sometimes the people we trust most are the ones capable of the deepest betrayal. But also share it with someone who needs to know that real love, like Martin's, like Michael's in the end, that protects even when it hurts. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories about families, betrayal, and the prices we pay for trust, because I've got more to tell. Martin left other recordings, you see, other secrets, other tests. But those are stories for another day.